So let's talk about the big order that came off the back of this as well. 28 new Boeing aircraft announced while the president was on the ground here. Obviously a very significant move for the airline. Take me inside that order.
I mean, I've been saying that Etihad is ordering planes every other week now, right? For the past 2 years and a half. We have a very, I would say, different approach than many other airlines in terms of adding planes. We add as we go, right? I mean, if you think about it, we had 70 planes, 67 planes to be more precise, in 2022, right, mid-2022. We're now at 99. We're going to get to 100 very soon, right? And I mean, this airline can have 200 planes, right? But we don't want to order 100 planes or 200 planes all at once, because market dynamics change. I mean, situations change. Some planes I need earlier, other planes I need a little bit later. So what we've been doing, right, in terms of ordering planes is, I mean, we're very diligent and we order as we go. So, I mean, we're getting more than 20 planes per year for the next 5 years.
Qatar Airways down the road also making a record order with Boeing. So the question is, does Boeing actually have the capacity to be able to make and deliver these planes for you on time and on budget? The question is, when are you going to get them?
I mean, Boeing is improving, ramping up. Actually, I think we're going to see very good news from Boeing in the next 6 months to 1 year. I mean, we see production capacity ramping up. We don't take 737s from Boeing, we take 787s. And in the 787 schedule, I mean, we feel confident. So I think Boeing is getting back on track. Of course, there are challenges in other programs like the 777X that need yet to certify the plane. But I mean, we announced a 777X, right? But our 777X is going to arrive only after 2030. So we intentionally ordered the plane a little bit later so that this phase of certification would go away. So as far as our planes are concerned, I mean, we are in good shape because the 787 is coming out of factory on time now.
And there's sufficient demand to justify that expansion in capacity?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we've been growing 35% every year for the past 3 years, right? This year, we're probably going to be growing 20%. And we believe that in the next, I would say, 5 years, we're going to be growing at least 10% per year. And that's probably 2 times GDP, right? Which is a good reference, reference for demand in economies that are growing 5%. So every time economy grows 5%, you should expect aviation to grow 2x, and that's 10%. So we are growing about market with that new order. So we may get more, right, if we want to outpace the market.
How many more?
I don't know. I mean, time will tell.
Because the other question is, what kind of routes or markets are you going to put this new capacity on? 787s and 777Xs, what are they going to unlock? And are you thinking more Asia? Is it more into the United States? Is it more on existing routes? Where are these planes actually going to go?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, right? We just announced at Charlotte in the US, right? I mean, we're going to be the first airline in the Middle East to fly to Charlotte. I mean, few people know, but Charlotte is top 10 in the world in terms of passengers, right? And it's a very vibrant city, and I think it was forgotten, right, by the Middle Eastern carriers, and now we're flying there. So then we have a view on destinations that we're going to be, putting those planes, but we need to have flexibility. We need to adapt and adjust as we see competition evolving, as we see market evolving. But our model is very simple today, right? We want to have, we're talking about wide bodies, right? But on the narrow body, within the 4 hours, I would say, journey duration, we want to add capacity in a way that we get to 3 to 4 flights a day to all these destinations. And to Southeast Asia, Europe, and East Coast of the US, we want to have 2 flights a day. So everywhere we don't have at least 2 flights a day, right? In Europe, in the East Coast of the US and Southeast Asia, you should expect Etihad to add a flight. So let me give one example, right? We're right now working hard so that we have 2 flights a day to a place like Barcelona that we don't have today. We have about 10 a week, right? But Jakarta, we already have 2 flights a day. You see what I mean? So New York, we already have 2 flights a day, but Chicago, we don't have 2 flights a day. So over the next 5 to 7 years, you should expect Etihad, right, to add these flights. I mean, people ask us a lot, right? 9 a.m. flights. I mean, flights that depart at noon, right? Because we have the 2 a.m. bank that is very, very big for us. But now we're building up what we call the second bank into Europe, into the US, and into Southeast Asia. In some markets, we already have two. And the markets that we don't have two, I mean, it's probably a good indication where we're going to put more planes.
When it comes to addressing the competition as well, one of the other things that you and I have spoken about is how the customer today isn't just focused on timing or price, it's also focused on product. So how do you enhance the product offering to make sure that you can actually compete with the other major players here? And what are you doing on board, inside the cabin, to justify the pricing structure that we see today?
So we're crazy about Net Promoter Score, right? Measuring customer satisfaction. We receive about 500,000 responses every year. This year is going to be 600 from our customers. And we pay a lot of attention to that, to go to each and every single response and analyze where we have to improve. And that's a continuous process, right? So we found out that we have to step up our game in the first class product, right? That's why we just launched it, as you mentioned in the beginning, right? I mean, the very first class product into a narrow body, right? We're investing now in meet and assist. All the first class in Etihad is going to have meet and assist throughout the world, right? I mean, we're going to revamp our catering, right? But that's a journey, right? I mean, we need to be really diligent to implement all that, because in the end, product matters, right? And it's not the only way that you differentiate yourselves, right? And you need to be really pragmatic about that, because you need to segment the cabin. Some people want, and some people don't want. Some people are willing to pay for that. Other people are not willing to pay for that. But I mean, we're going to keep investing. I mean, this quarter, Q1, that we just released the results, was the best customer satisfaction index that we have ever had in the Etihad history, right? So we're going to invest 3 billion dirhams, about $800 million, to retrofit all the fleet. By 2028, all Etihad planes are going to look like the same, right? And we're going to be the only carrier in the region with such consistency in the fleet by 2028.
I have to ask you as well, because you have a finger in the air when it comes to the regional macroeconomic environment, and of course you're operating a large business here, what would you say is the biggest risk to the outlook right now?
I would say that volatility, right? Volatility is never good, right? I mean, of course, if it's a short-term volatility, you just ignore it and keep doing what you're doing, right? But if you have volatility like I faced when I was the CEO of an airline in Brazil, right? 1 year it's boom, 1 year it's boost, right? I mean, boom and bust is not good for anyone, because you buy planes and you get the planes in 2 years. So I would say that as long as volatility is short-term, everyone's in good shape, right, in the region. But if we get some longer cycles of volatility, right, where you have booms and busts, I mean, that's a risk. But I think that the UAE and Abu Dhabi are doing a phenomenal job in making sure that the economy is diversified enough so that one area compensates for the other. I mean, imagine about that, right? We're going to have Disneyland here one day, right? And that's going to make, support the local economy to face seasonality and booms and boosts in a different way. You see what I mean? So I think the best thing we can do is keep investing in the economy so that we face, volatility.
Antonoaldo, I'm going to let you get on with your morning. Before I let you go, though, one other question. What did you make of Qatar's plan to essentially gift President Trump a new Air Force One?
I mean, it's not for me to comment on that, Dan. I mean, 747 is an amazing plane, right? If I got a plane, as a gift, I would be extremely happy, right? But I think, the issue, right, that we really need to see behind that is the OEMs. They need to deliver their planes. You see what I mean? Because in reality, it's that's what we're talking about, right? I mean, you need planes, and the world needs planes, and I think we're going to be better off. And if I can get a plane for free, I would be happy to, and I'll take it.
All right, Antonoaldo, we'll leave it there. Great conversation this morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to come into the studio. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Dan. It's an honor to be here.